we've just finished the 2025 AFL season, and if you listen to the media this week, the 2026 season is done and dusted, with the Saints throwing out their cash and buying that number one status for next year, while Melbourne has fallen off a cliff and they're going to be buried 10 feet under. Thank God that there's the NRL final to break things up. Can see what team you went for on Sunday night? Must be a proud man.
I am. It's been my team for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, you haven't
just
jumped on.
Since they came into the league,
yeah,
I've been a Broncos man. So, yeah.
So what did it mean to you? Because that was given the last week's game against Penrith and then following that up.
I mean, look, they had 3 great games in a row. Let's face it. They beat the minor premier in Canberra after being down by 16 points and coming back.
It wasn't much, just excluding
then they beat the current, and at that point, the current 4-time premier
premiers
in a row.
Yeah.
Were being down 14 points. And then they're probably taken on what most consider, I mean, outside of Penrith, of course, most considered to be the team of probably the decade or since they've come into the competition, the Melbourne Storm in the final after being down by 10. They threw, in 2023 was heartbreaking. They threw whatever it was, I think it was about a 16 or 18 or 20 point lead away at half time. Had Penrith on toast and Penrith just rolled them. So it meant a lot. I mean, they were the powerhouse of the league back in the early, when they started to come in the 90s to the early 2000s, and then they've basically fallen off a cliff.
So where's it all head to now? Is that the hunt is done, or is this a dynasty in the making?
I don't know if it's a dynasty in the making. I can see him making finals, multiple finals, NRL grand finals in the future. In the next 5 years, they may do 2 or 3, whether they can win them or not. I think the hunger will still be there because it is still a young group.
Yeah.
And they've proven with the older blokes going off injured that they could do it on field. It was a worry watching that game and then watching, guys, Corey Parker and, getting injured. And then, so I just thought, oh boy, where's the leadership going to come from? But they were great, man. It was just amazing to watch these young kids running around and,
is that
Reece Walsh, oh my God, what a player.
Campaigns where, those final campaigns where a team just gets on a roll and everything, all the stars align on it.
Yeah. Well, their last 6 games, they said it was quoted their last 6 games, they scored 119 points, which is phenomenal when you consider that. That's 20 points a game. Most teams, sometimes struggle to get 6 to 10
in finals. Yeah.
So, to have done that, they have that now, that hardness where they know that they can come from behind. So no game's out of reach for them. Because I think that helps. Whether that carries on over into next year, I don't know. There will, of course, be some player movement, but you'd also expect that there might be some improvement in the team too.
Organic growth.
Yeah. And there'd be people looking to come into the club as well.
Yeah.
So, it was pointed out today that probably 5 of their best, say 10 players were probably 5 of their best 8 were all New South Welshmen, including their coach.
Yeah.
So if you look at Brisbane at the moment, that is title town. There's not only did they win the AFL Grand Final, they won the NRL men's and women's, and they won the State of Origin. So as far as credibility as a state and winning what matters to us as a country, which is the AFL and the NRL, they own it all.
You know where I'm going to go with this then? Olympics 2030, isn't it?
Supposed to be.
Brisbane now, the sporting capital of Australia.
Then no. Look,
what was that? Sorry, did you see that ranking by, I don't know who it was, that ranked Brisbane as the sporting capital of Australia?
No, and I didn't see that.
Paris was number 1 worldwide.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that. No, not at all. But
I'll have to send that one through during time.
I don't know how they become the sporting capital of Australia.
I don't know how it was ranked either.
I mean, the biggest game in Australia is the AFL Grand Finals in Melbourne. The biggest test, whether we agree with it or not, is the Boxing Day test, whether we think it is.
NRL Grand Finals not played in Brisbane.
That's it. The NRL, exactly. The NRL Grand Finals not played in Brisbane. They competed in a lot of the competitions, obviously, but nothing runs through there. So I don't see that as a sporting capital of Australia, no.
No, I agree with that. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, in your opening, you talked about how you might as well give the Premiership Cup to St Kilda. I still think Brisbane a huge chance next year to three-peat, to be honest with you. They'll have the experience for one, and they've got handy players coming in.
I was going to say, just the dickhead factor of trying to bring things down.
Well, I don't know whether, and again, he went out. How long did he go out for? This year he missed the last 16 or something.
Yeah.
So, but they seem to be able to cover. They're one team that seems to.
But I'll say this: don't discount the tap work of McInerney.
Yeah,
he was
no. But they win last year without him, though.
Yeah, I know.
Look, this is a team that knows they can put 22, 24, 25 out there, whatever it is. And that 25 is the job done.
You know, Starcevic, I don't think they can replace him.
Well, he's going to be hard to. I agree with you. Yeah, he's going to be hard to replace.
And
but
again, I think
is with Starcevic? Is it a case of moving him on at the right time? Because I think we're at that point with him. One more head knock, like with Marshall. I've always said to you about Marshall from Port Adelaide. He's the same. They're both, I think, one head knock away from the AFL.
They're cashing in. They found this very stupid club in West Coast to sell to.
And I'm shocked West Coast went ahead with it.
Yeah, given that they've had players retire this season with concussions, you would think they'd be a bit buyer beware. But oh my God, if there's not a stupider club than West Coast at the moment, I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know.
No, I didn't understand it. I thought that would have given them the perfect opportunity to go, nah, but let's not take the risk. But they've done it.
Yeah.
You know, Duday comes to mind. They took a bloke who they knew was going to miss 12 months with a knee, and he has yet to play a game for him.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I thought he played one and then went down.
Yeah, I was just thinking, but I thought that might have been a preseason game. I wasn't sure if it was actual.
Yeah.
Was it actual? Yeah, I can't. Or a preseason?
Yeah, I can't.
I thought it was a preseason game. So, you know, sometimes it is buyer beware, and that can happen to anybody, as we will.
It can, and it's bad luck. Yeah. But given that, you know, I don't know how much they're paying. It would be a significant amount. I imagine you're pulling them out of a settled premiership lineup.
Yeah.
You've got to, I know the home factor's there. That's part of the reason why he's coming home. But
that's the only reason.
On the money.
Surely that's the only reason he goes.
Yeah.
He's got 2 premierships now. He's sitting back. He's thinking, it's time for me. You know, I'd like to go home. The money's going to be huge if he goes to West Coast. So that's the only thing.
It's interesting, isn't it? You've got Archie coming to the Crows. I didn't know this, but Archie's a Crows school. He grew up at Crows school.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that either.
So it's you've still got that romanticism about things that players that grew up supporting a club coming back, not necessarily from the same state. You know, Brayshaw from Fremantle's a big time Port supporter. So maybe one day
I was shocked. I was shocked when I heard that. Brayshaw was
But then it makes sense because his father was working for you guys.
Yeah, he was. That's right, he was. Yeah.
So then you've got a dad that works at the club. You're going there, and that's at a stage where you're so it's so easy to impress on life.
And he meets the players. He gets treated really well. But yeah, I understand that. That's why I think Texas boy will be heading to Collingwood when he's old enough. So
good luck to him, man.
Well, actually, it depends on where Nick ends up, isn't it? Because the big trade rumor is well, actually we won't hit that just now. Let's ask. We got a question from one of your friends.
Was it Derek?
Was Massive Richard, wasn't it?
I think he's taking a break this week.
About trade week. It's I don't know what your thoughts are, but at the moment I think it's more entertainment.
It's a circus.
It's a circus. It's just guys throwing out what they think should happen, and there's no real information about what's actually going on until a deal's done. Like, I just think it's ridiculous. We've got so many shows talking so much crap at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just pointless. You get sick of hearing so many things. And some of the deals that some of these people are throwing out, you just think, there's no way you do that.
No. But, I mean, you've got trade radio that runs from, 9 o'clock in the morning to, 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock at night, or whatever it is. They've got to fill out content.
Well, that's right. And if there's nothing happening, all they can do is just throw around numbers and players and say, how about they do this or how about they do that?
And since the launch of trade radio, I'm pretty sure that all those rumors you hear 2 weeks ago, they're the only business that gets done. So there's nothing new. There's generally nothing new. Of course, there might be 1 or 2 deals that just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But Yeah, most of the time it's pretty much what you've heard, and so
yeah. Look, everybody's
it's for entertainment, absolutely.
Exactly, and everybody's talking about Butters, and they should trade Butters, and they should do this, and they should. I said that 6 weeks ago. That if the right deal comes along, they'll do it. They'll pull the trigger on Butters. They will.
Yeah.
Because they're stupid not to. You got to take what you can get now, because you'll get the better deal now than what you will next year.
Yeah.
But how does that hurt you if you're dealing someone like that and you want to bring players in and they're thinking, well, that midfield's going to be really strong, you know? So,
and the other thing is,
you've got to do the deal. If there's a good deal coming, mate, you got to do it.
I understand that, but he's the sort of player, even for a year, he's the car DNA, isn't he? Tough. Hard at it.
He is.
He's been one of the leaders to help, build that.
And it's an absolute shame that he wants to go home. It really is. So it's not the money factor.
Maybe he's scared of car.
Well, no. I don't think so. Look, it's not the money factor, because he can get what Port can match whatever anybody else is offering.
Yeah.
And it was an offer from the Bulldogs of 1.7. Now, that is the most Bulldogs thing I've ever heard in my life. They need backmen. They don't need midfielders. And yet they're willing to throw 1.7 at a midfielder they don't need and not even fix up the problem they have, which is their backline.
He likes to move the magnets, though.
But he's not going to help you. He's playing back. You don't pay. I mean, come on. This is getting ridiculous now. I mean, that is the one. If Bulldogs go all in on Butters, that'd be the stupidest move they could ever do.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter how much you think you need him, that's not going to fix your problem. He's not going to help you in the backline. He's not. No. Now, whether that means Font goes forward and you can play Norton back, maybe that's the thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, Norton had such a good year. He's in all Australian contention. If he'd started the year the way he kicked on mid-season, he could have been Collingwood medalist.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But that's the only way
I
could see their thinking
you're just trying to,
is Bonner forward and Norton back. And he has to stay back. He can't be drifting back and forth, because the holes in the back line are just too huge. They've got to find something to do here. But what will they get for Hugo Hagen? Who knows?
Yeah.
There's other pieces leaving. So
we spoke about it off air. Riley Sanders is linked to Adelaide all of a sudden today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why would they not sort of think of, okay, well, this bloke, because everyone, the way he's being spoken about is he's going to go to Tasmania eventually.
Yeah.
Well, send him off, pack into the Crows and draw butts out, because they know the Crows need a midfielder.
No.
They don't care. Bulldogs don't care if Sanders leaves in 2 years' time when Tassie comes in, but they could pull a Butts that's sitting on the sidelines. He's not first choice. Out of Adelaide, and give him guaranteed playing time, and there is their fullback.
I would draw. If I'm Port, I'd pick up Butts. Like you said, Cook and Butts. They're the two players who I think are very gettable from the Crows, because you don't need either of them.
Yeah. The Crows coming out saying they're not for trade. That's key word for it. Yeah, we'll let him go.
And we'll let him go.
But you'll have to pay overs.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that deal will be something that helps you get another piece.
Midfield.
Yeah, midfield.
Yeah.
Now, Petrarca's gone, and he used you. He honestly used you.
Did he use us, or did we not pull the trigger on something that could have hurt us? Because we could have potentially paid that. That's smart list match.
I don't think he was ever coming to the Crows. I think
what if Adelaide goes, we'll accept that extra, what was it, 100,000?
You were never going to accept it. You were paying way over to start with, let alone another 100,000.
But Petrarca's the bloke that said a couple of years back, he can't get up for 30,000 fans. How's he going to get up for 15,000 on the Gold Coast? So I'm sure we were in the market. Because let's face it, you got Gold Coast, which, look, everyone goes, the lifestyle on the Gold Coast is better. Maybe a holiday. But do you want to live on the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
And playing in front of 15,000 fans over...
Yeah.
All right, we're living in Adelaide.
I want to live over the Gold Coast. Yes, thanks.
Pack your bags. Please. Off then.
No, big guy. Look, I think I don't know whether he sees a bigger upside with the Gold Coast. I think he does. I think he sees there's a possibility of the Gold Coast, and especially under Dimmer, he thinks that team might actually be going somewhere. Had you guys actually achieved, like, I don't mean achieved something, I mean
won a
final, or actually got to a prelim, or maybe even made the grand final, even if you lost it, I think you definitely would have been in the running. The way you went out was maybe put a bad taste in a few people's mouths. And whether he looks at the Gold Coast and looks at that list and thinks it's a bit more, he's better off going there than Adelaide, I don't know. But it was said midweek after we spoke about how he'd gone in, he got the medical, he spent 4 hours with Nix.
Yep.
And then about 2 days later, it was reported he was just using you to get a better deal. So
yeah, I don't think that he was using us for a better deal. I legitimately think he wanted a better deal from us. Yeah, he absolutely wanted to improve. And if we were happy to pay that, I think he would have come here.
Yeah,
that's the fact of the matter.
I still think he was asking too much, and I don't think you should pull the trick on someone.
No, but the perception from Melbourne is we're desperate for midfielder. That's not Melbourne Football Club and Melbourne media. No, and Reid made that clear. And when did you see the Clayton Oliver news come up? He goes, "I will do our due diligence." They obviously
you're not bringing Oliver.
No. They ruled that out.
His decline is huge.
He's acting like a right-on American wanker right now. What is he doing?
Because Melbourne pumped him up. Melbourne has probably spent years telling him how great he is.
Yeah. But there he is. His decline, did you see that? It's
huge. Yeah.
What did you think of the facilities? Oh yeah, facilities are good.
Yeah.
And he's bagging Melbourne.
Yeah.
What a salty.
So look, and if I think that'd be. I don't know where he fits in. He needs a good culture. He needs a Sydney or a Geelong, Oliver.
But he can also upset her.
Collingwood could be too free and easy for him. Melbourne had massive trouble, obviously, with what went on. He needs a team that has good leaders all around, not just on field, off field.
So let me ask you a question. Collingwood going after Clayton Oliver, is it because they're pushing Nick Tackles?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think that's just trade radio chatter filling up space? Because I'm sure every club asks about it.
Of course they do.
What's the status on this? Like, is he gettable?
There's no day cost us leaving Collingwood. That's the bit. And when I started to hear that as well, I started to think, well, this is absolute entertainment over information. Yeah. This is just a joke.
Well, do you think
you do?
Possibly.
Surely you ask about a bloke who's coming out of contract. Even if you know the answer is going to be no, you still ask the question.
Do you think possibly list managers saw Dacos Senior having a fit and read between the lines and just, hey, what do you think?
I think they just thought, this is good. They probably got word that someone asked about him and thought, I wonder who else has asked about him, and found out that 17 other teams asked about him and went, oh my God, is there a chance to move?
Yeah.
That's all. What did you make of the Bombers going all in for the number 1 pick? Probably offering 4, 5 and a 20 or something for it.
They've obviously got someone in mind that's obviously going to be off the board by pick 4. I think they
obviously, they got 4, 5.
Yeah, so they obviously have identified someone of their need. And look, from all reports, if you listen to Melbourne, this is Melbourne media again, not Melbourne Football Club. It's a shallow draft.
But Melbourne, from Melbourne.
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
From Melbourne talent, not national talent.
Yeah, because both Vic Metro and Vic Country stunk it up this year.
Yes.
But the competition outside that was quite strong. The O's were strong. WA was all right.
Yeah.
And South Australia.
So who's going number 1 then? Then tell me who's going number 1, because if they want the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's talk Dersma.
That's right. That's what I heard too. I heard Dersma.
So they're going to unite Dersma with Dersma.
Dersma, the 2 Dersma boys, and hope to get the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Interesting. From North Melbourne. So
it's a bit like the Crows going after Curtin and this year's draft to try and keep him. And that's happening more and more.
The thing that amazed me was that when that information came out about the Bombers inquiring about North Melbourne's Dersma, I was listening to SEN and they had North Melbourne supporters ringing up saying, good, get out of here, as if the kid had made the decision to leave. It was, again, just trade radio talking about an option. Would they reunite the 3 brothers at Essendon if they managed to get the younger Dersma?
Yeah.
And the North Melbourne supporters went crazy telling him to get out, like it was him asking for a trade or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of stupid idiots that listen to that crap. They're up there with West Coast supporters.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm going to get to it. This is not on the run sheet. But I saw, there was
West Coast supporters.
Have you seen that Facebook page? Every supporter group, you come across a Facebook page. West Coast is West Coast TV. I think they call it.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were putting up a post about Jack Steele, about how desperate they would be to get him to go West Coast.
Yep.
Now, what the hell would they be doing trying to think about getting Jack Steele? They're disrespecting the rebuild that they're in. He's taking a spot away from one of the young blokes on their list. Yep. What are they doing? They're propping themselves up to mid-table mediocrity.
They'll say fast-tracking.
Fast-tracking my ass.
Well, that's what
they haven't done it right.
Fast-tracking. They're trying to fast-track the rebuild.
Yeah.
Look, you could do it. You said to me you'd like the way you guys did.
Yeah, look, I get it. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, but they're just so disrespectful.
But they're impatient. That's the thing, though. You guys were patient. You saw that you could rebuild, and you'd have to do it slowly. You had to bring in pieces. You brought in those pieces. You end up finishing minor premier. So therefore, you achieved something, but it took 7 years. Let's not forget it took 7 years.
But that's the way proper rebuilds happen.
To get to where you are.
Look at Brisbane.
Now, they're looking at bringing in players who are going to fast track that, so it's a 2 or 3 or 4 year, not a 7 or 8.
But again, is that because we talk about it quite a bit? Is that the Harley Reid factor, trying to keep you happy?
Maybe,
because if they're not contending, the next contract is gone.
Can be. Yeah. Well, look, he could ask for a trade at the end of next year.
He could. So that's where the pressure is to try and lift that performance straight away. But appeasing one player over the long term effects
that happens at a lot of places, though, doesn't it?
It does.
We're starting to become a bit like the American sports, where in order to keep your stars, you have to start bringing in pieces around them. Otherwise, they request a trade. So we're almost getting to that point in our sport, in the AFL, where players are saying, "Well, I can't see this thing happening within my, I'll be 30 odd by the time we actually get there. I need to get out now and try to get to a team where I can do it quicker."
And look, that's an outstanding point. That is an outstanding point. And maybe it's me just being prude.
Look, I understand it, but you're right. Or they're going to, if you don't do it properly, all you do is set yourself up.
But a club that was in denial for so long, you would think, okay, this is a time for them in particular. When you get to that stage where you've fallen off the cliff, that's the time where you just blow the thing up, start again. And look, if old mate Harley Reid wants to go home, you take that. You get as much as you can.
That's it. You get as much as you can. Because you got screwed in the Kelly deal with Geelong.
So then you screw one of the big clubs.
Whoever, that's it. Yeah. Screw whoever wants Harley Reid. Yeah, absolutely.
So in their position, they should be looking to do it properly, because they've got more holes than Swiss cheese.
Yeah. No, it will take time, but you also need to bring in experience and pieces around.
You do.
The younger kids. Is he going to make a difference? Maybe still, I don't know.
But they're bringing in, players like him. Starcevic, one head knock away.
Exactly.
I saw that Harry Schoenberg from the Crows is over there trialing.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking for a spot there.
Looking for a spot. Yeah.
That's a bloke that can't hit a target at SNFL level. What's he going to add to AFL level? Because if he had the ability to hit,
that's right. I would have kept him.
He would have been on our list. We need midfielders.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting watch. And plus, I know I sound like a broken record, but you don't want to be down the bottom when Tassie comes in. I saw the concessions. I don't know if you did when they announced the concessions. They are going to if you're down the bottom, mate, you are going to spend a long time down there, given that 5-year plan for them, signing bonuses and bloody all the picks they're going to be getting.
But it's also a good position to be looking for to offload players to because they're going to have to trade. They've got picks that they have to.
I know as part of that was you have to trade. I think it was 5 and
so potentially
7 and 9.
If you've got a player that wants to go there, you can rip them off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you're right. There will be teams who will be smart enough.
Yeah.
There will be teams who will be smart enough to go, hang on, we want that one if you want this guy.
Yeah.
And they will. Then there'll be some teams that will come.
Happened with Gold Coast and GWS, right? And they'll get ripped off left, right, and centre.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and then look, in a way, I understand the AFL wants an established player in there, and they'll get that. Yeah. But whether or not it's going to be a quality player for a pick, 7, 8, 9, or whatever it was that they listed that had to go out.
Yeah. Knows. All right. Well, who's your sook of the week? Is it the Dacosses or the Essendon players after their CEO fronted them and talked to them about the drug culture at the club? Who you got? Who?
This one's a hard one.
Battle royal. This one.
Oh, look. both ginormous sooks, mate.
Yeah.
You can see Dacos's nappy hanging out of his slacks on that Saturday night. I have to go Dacos. What the hell?
Well,
what
why?
the hell?
So tell me why you'd have to go Dacos.
Well, why would you sook? Because the head coach has made which I thought was a pretty reasonable joke to make. Maybe you need a few 16 disposal games. I mean, what are you sooking off?
I thought it was,
yeah. Oh God.
I'm with you, mate. I thought it was actually funny because, that what's that saying is he should have won the medal because the umpires don't even know what they're talking about. That's how I took it. I don't know why they got all fired up about him having a couple of 16 possession games. I mean, to me, I thought it was quite witty and basically saying Nick should have won the medal.
Yeah.
All right. As far as the Essendon players go, how weak are you blokes? Like, seriously, these guys front you and say, hey, look, we want to talk to you about drugs and the illicit drug policy. And you sook it up, going, oh, we're going to go to the Players Association because we think you're suggesting that some of us have got drug problems. The CEO had the stuff in front of him. He had a list of players handed to him by the AFL that said that there were players within the club who were using. Go to the PA then if you want to. Right. What a bunch of
I mean, you can't blame the club hierarchy for saying, hey, we're not performing. Let's get this under control.
That's right. But did they approach you right? Okay, maybe not. But to then go and bring it, it's like getting mum and dad if the teacher tells you off, isn't it? I'm going to go home and get mum and dad to come in and help me out here and defend me. Like, seriously, people.
Essendon's just a bizarre place at the moment. Their list manager coming out saying that Merritt's not being traded. What's going on there?
I don't know how that functions if he's not traded.
No, and look, I get the managers come out, they posture, he's not being traded. Yeah. Code word for give us all you can.
That's it. Give us as much as you can. Yeah.
But to come out outright, if you're a supporter of Essendon, what the hell are you doing right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I found that very weird when he said that because, the damage is done. I don't know how you repair that now.
If I'm a young kid growing up in Melbourne, there's no way I'm supporting Essendon. With the lack of success they've got, all I've got is a cool mascot that's a bomber.
That's even a cool mascot.
Not really. Looks the little guy that runs around the ground looks like a mosquito.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Is it a mosquito?
Yeah, it looks like a mosquito.
It's they're doing this is generational damage, not just on field,
could be,
but off field.
Yeah.
Mind you, Carlton's done generational damage. You're either growing up as a Hawthorn supporter or a Geelong supporter, and maybe Richmond.
At the moment, yeah.
Collingwood, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Essendon's, they're going to be careful. They'll lose their big club status soon.
Yeah.
So the other question, because I'm still on a run board, forgot to put it down. So the St Kilda hype, because I think we differ on this one. Is the St Kilda hype real or fake?
I don't see them winning at all, but I think they'll make I actually think they'll perform. They could be top 4, given that they finished outside the 8, which means they'll get a soft draw. With the players they've brought in, I could see them finishing top 4. I could actually see them finishing top 4.
Is Tom De Koning better player than Marshall?
That's a good question. I think De Koning's more flexible than Marshall. He's younger, obviously. I'd rather have, if you said to me, you've got De Koning or Marshall, I'd take De Koning.
Yeah. Look,
yes, to answer your question, yes, he is. To me, he is.
I don't see, I don't see them jumping in. Who goes out of the 8? Who goes out?
Well, that's an interesting question, but there's always 2 or 3 changes every year. So,
I can see Sydney going in.
Well, that's going to be the thing, though. There's probably going to be a couple of teams that obviously jump in.
Mm-hmm.
So Sydney comes to mind. The Bulldogs, maybe.
Oh yeah,
St Kilda. I would say St Kilda definitely.
Yep.
So who jumps out? That becomes a good question. I think Gold Coast stay where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about GWS. Have they come to the end of their run?
Possibly.
That's.
But I can see them sliding out in Sydney.
Yep. Hawthorn are probably going to be there for a while. Brisbane should be, Geelong should be, Collingwood should be, you guys should be. Hawthorn, we said yes. We reckon Gold Coast will stay where they are. We think there's a possibility that GWS might drop out. Who's the team I'm missing now from that?
Did you say
Freo?
Yeah.
So what did Freo do? You reckon Freo will stay?
Freo shouldn't stay. Just because it's a young team.
So then I would have Sydney, probably Sydney, St Kilda, and maybe Bulldogs, I say, vying for possibly either the GWS position or,
see, that's the thing.
Possibly Fremantle, maybe.
Yeah, it's such a tight front race. So I understand people getting excited. Big name players they're throwing out big amount of cash. They've got the Nazaya Wangbi Malera signature on the paper. Yeah. But to me, it's an improvement, but it's not enough to jump from where they are into the 8. I think 9 or 10.
Oh,
yeah. But this thing of flag favourites, top 4.
No, I don't think they're flag favourites. I don't think you can.
So this is the media, though. It's just
look what they've added is handy. It's definitely, Silvani. I don't know. He
he had a good season.
He had a good season as a backman, right? But then he ends up the season injured. So, is his body at that point now where he might break down a bit more? Don't know. So look, I think it'll be an interesting watch, and they're expecting Ross to be able to take this team and make a big jump.
Yeah.
It's their draw for me. Because you now got to remember,
I know that.
GWS are going to have a harder draw. You guys are going to have a harder draw. So are Gold Coast, so are Fremantle. So you guys become, I don't know about you guys, whether you're vulnerable or not, or whether you can take that next step. I don't see. It surprised me if Fremantle miss the 8 because they have a harder draw than what they will.
If they don't evolve, they're in trouble.
That's it. So this is going to be the problem now.
Yeah.
I think Hawthorn will be all right. And I think you guys should be all right. And then, of course, you got the Collingwood, Brisbane, Geelong. So it will be an interesting watch. I think St Kilda could definitely force their way.
Yeah. So to me, the draw is overrated. An extra top 8 team, who gives a shit? Well,
it won't just be an extra top 8 team. You could find yourself not playing,
But let's face it, when a showdown, that's pretty much like a top 8 team.
Yeah.
Because of just the rivalry. It's never going to be completely one way.
But
this year, we played Collingwood, Hawthorn, Brizzy twice. There's 3 teams in the top 8.
But could you imagine if St Kilda get the double West Coast, double North Melbourne, double Richmond?
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I'm just saying, could you imagine if that happens?
Yeah.
Or, anybody. Sydney get that, or we get that, or whatever.
See, where it does
be almost 6 games
really comes in handy is percentage. I think that's where it you notice it.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. It's an extra win that they can bank on, an extra 2 wins they can bank on. Or if they get a third team, an extra 3 wins they can definitely bank on. But on any given day, you can be beat.
Yeah. And the next question is, do we expect that next year you're going to have to win it again? You're going to have to win 15 to make it?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
So that makes that easier draw so much better for you.
To me, I
does.
look at where the competition's at, and they're not just because of the way it finished and the way the ladder looked. Some of the teams that, like you guys, I don't know where to place you guys at the moment, but...
Well, we're doing nothing in trade. Now, I agree with you, but if you look at the injury list, again, I'll let you finish it for. I should have...
teams like Melbourne, they were a team that they could have potentially jumped in. They're going to fall right away.
I can see Melbourne bottoming out.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So you could see a bit of a gap after the top 10. So if they are going to bring in the wild card round, next year's actually a good year to try it.
Look, the only way I see us making a big jump is if they deal Butters and they get a lot for it. That's the only way I can. And by a lot, I mean name players, not just picks, actual name players who can make a difference to this side.
Yeah.
Now, given that the 2 sides that are chasing him that I'm hearing the most about are currently Collingwood and Bulldogs, I think that both sides have got some players that they would definitely offload if they wanted to bring Butters in.
Yeah.
So,
Riley Sanders could be in the report.
Yeah, this could be a very, very interesting watch.
Yeah.
And again, I say to you, I've said it all year. If the right deal comes along, you've got to do it. You just can't wait another year and get nothing for him, which is virtually what you will get for him.
If that deal gets done, is that a last minute thing, or do you think by this time next week we'll be talking about it?
I think if that deal gets done, and you will hear about it
before.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely hear about it before.
So this time next week, yeah.
So if I'm Port at the moment and I'm sitting there, I'm going, if you're really that interested, I want your best. Don't mess around with us, and don't be sending us crap picks and players we're not even interested in. If you seriously want this deal done, send us your best.
So who was it that leaked that information about Butters coming and initiating that?
Well, because it has to have been someone at the club initiating that talks. Has to have been. I can't give you a name of who did it.
So they're the ones that leaked out that information.
Or it's Butters' management.
So that's what I would love to know. Was it Butters, and this is his next step of trying to force something to happen?
Yeah.
Or is this the club cushioning you guys as supporters to go, hey, there might be some...
Look, there was a lot of talk during the year when we knew that he was going to be moving on. And he basically said that. He basically said he was happy to stay for next year, but he was going the following. So the talk around in the stands at Adelaide Oval was, if you can get the best deal, do it now. Get rid of him at the end of this year. Don't wait for next year, because although you would hate to lose him, and we would, like you say, he would of all the players we've got on that side, he's the one you think of that would work best under the car system.
Yes, yeah.
And yet he's the one who's definitely walking away. There's no chance he's staying.
Yeah.
Do it now if you can get a better deal than next year. We're not set up. We're not a team that's knocking on the door. It's not like we were again in the top four and we were knocking on a prelim final. This could be a year. Next year could be a year where we end up 16th, for all I know.
Yeah.
Or we could end up 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
So,
list managers just need to come out and sell it straight.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to supporters. This is the only way supporters will become more mature about player movement.
Yeah.
Is if there's more openness discussing about it. And stop using these stupid little, oh God, it annoyed me yesterday morning when, Kao Twomey had interviewed them all for 2 minutes going in. None of them revealed any.
No, of course not. And they're not going to give you anything.
No, but seriously, stop playing the games. Just tell it how it is. Yeah, we want this for this player. We want more for this player. We're not doing this deal until we get X, Y, Z on the table to consider that. Instead of going, he's not going anywhere, when that's bullshit.
Yeah, we do. Look, every player is on the table if the right deal comes along.
Because you got, mate, it annoyed me that Justin Reid comes out and goes, Adelaide's, short of a quality midfielder. We know our midfield needs improvement. Well, there's Jack Steele, there's Petrarca, there's old mate Clayton Oliver. And supporters are out there going, okay, why don't you go on to grab one of those players?
Because they're not interested.
First of all, say Clayton Oliver, he's on the nose beers.
Yeah.
Petrarca's going to cost too much.
Yeah.
And then there's Steele's too slow.
Too slow. Yeah. You don't need Steele.
No, if Steele's struggling to get a game for the same killer midfield that's pedestrian, that's not the super thing.
He's not. He's still not.
But by all means, West Coast supporters want him. Let him have him.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the 36ers. We both sat here last week and we talked about how that could be a tough game for them. They absolutely blew.
So did you watch the game in its entirety?
Yes, I was.
What did you make of hands, though?
They look, I don't know, that's super fair. They look flat ass. They look like they weren't ready for, I'm not sure whether they just expected to roll up and win that game at home or whether, but they did not look up for the fight at all.
So the commentator said at the start of the game, this is this free-flying open contest. Both these teams don't like defense.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that the 36ers didn't play defense. They certainly played defense.
They certainly did, yeah.
And then I thought there was a lot of perceived pressure. You talk about perceived pressure in the AFL. Yeah. When they're inbounding the ball, they're making... Oh, God, schoolboy errors.
I thought it was really... It looked like a team who was rusty and was just starting off this season. But and if they hadn't had such a good couple of wins before that, I would have said, yeah, well, they'll build, but they look really good.
Yeah, look, so, I think the Sixers definitely made them look average. Cairns didn't do themselves any favors. And the most impressive thing about the 36ers is this is the first game we could say all played well.
Absolutely.
Cotton really ignited in that second quarter, but then he hopped that hip knock, right. And that affected him the entire game. Yeah. So there's so much more improvement in that team.
Yeah.
That new European import, what you make of him? I thought it was impressive.
Yeah, he'll be good. Once they get him into that team and he has maybe another 5 or 8 games under his belt, I think you'll start to see his best then. He's finding his feet and he'll be up and down, I reckon.
Yeah.
He'll do some good things, but I think it'll still take 5, I reckon at least 5 games before you start to see that real integration and smoothness.
I agree, but he just brought a ton of energy in.
He did. Yeah.
There was one ball where it came in dispute and it bounced out and there was 4 Cairns players around and he cut through the middle. Yeah. That was, again, that's a mindset, I think.
That's I want to impress. That's work ethic. That's,
Yeah. And like he come on and he blocked, he stole.
Yeah.
I love that. Because
he did all the,
he's going to do the dirty stuff that a lot of those bigs you don't, you expect some rim defense, but to see how good he was stealing, that was...
We're going to have to learn his name.
And Nico.
We can't just say that European.
Well, there's only one European bloke on the lineup.
Yeah, but we're going to have to give him some more love and actually learn
Nico.
his name.
Nico.
All right,
Nico. It's Australian. Aussie Nick.
Snicko Nico.
Well, what about the ladies' side of basketball?
Look, well, I mean, look.
You brought this name up. I had no idea who it was.
Yeah. So I said to Liam, what do you think about Kathy at work? And he was, who? And I said, well, she's the commissioner of WNBA, and she got called out by one of the players who everybody was shocked that she actually spoke up. She's one of the most nicest players, and he was still like, yeah, and so I'm just shocked. I just said to him, I'm just shocked you're still commissioner. I thought either they would have turfed her out or she would have resigned after some of the comments about especially about the reffing and her leadership and all that sort of stuff. But apparently, not enough damage was done for them to keep her around, or they just think, what's the point? They're going in the direction they want to go in, and it's just seemed to me that the Aces playing the Fever, that they just set their game up so the Aces won that game. It's just, I don't know I guess you didn't even watch any of it. No, I took a interest in it because this was the number 1 team against a broken Fever team who had most of the stars sitting on the bench, and they ran them to overtime, the Fevers, and they probably should have won that game had it not been for a few calls, to be honest with you. So it actually, to me, looked like what was said about the refereeing was spot on. So, but you had to watch it to be just totally, absolutely like, what is going on?
Yep.
But I was just shocked that she's still there. That's all, I guess. That was my point.
Amazing.
Move on.
She's the chair of the competition that has the what's thrown on it. Yeah. She did a great job handling that.
Yeah.
Of course, sarcasm's not coming through well here, is it?
No, it's not.
No. So, women of the NBA, women of basketball world, haven't had a good week. I don't know if you've seen in the gossip world, Ayesha Curry.
Curry, yes.
Yeah, so you weren't aware of this.
Steph's wife, yes.
She's creating a bit of I guess you'd say a ripple in the NBA world, and everyone's watching to see what's going to go on there between Steph and his wife. I'll just roll out a bit of a rap sheet for you here. Now, I didn't tell you this. I didn't speak about this off air, so this is all going to be new. So you can react as we go.
Just a live reaction, okay.
So, she said on a show that, and there's nothing wrong with this, so I don't want to take this out of context. It's the rest of the internet has taken this out of context. Okay. So I just want to put that out there because I didn't think that there's anything wrong with what she said here.
In context.
So she said that in her marriage, her relationship always comes first, then we're parents. So people had a problem with putting herself, Steph, before the kids. So when you become a parent and you've been a parent, you put the kids first.
Yep.
And I believe you've done that.
Yep.
And I do the same for our kids.
Yep.
But everyone lives differently. You can't judge that.
So she copped up for saying,
so
she puts her husband before her.
Yeah. So she's dismissive towards motherhood, or insensitive towards the challenges of parenting. Okay. Some people, there was a small crowd that actually praised her for being vocal about it and said, no, this is your life. You live it how you want to live. And I get that. Yeah. So then, of course, the internet being the internet, started digging through her past history.
Okay, so here we go.
So this is a lady that loves to do a lot of talking, a lot of yapping.
Yeah.
As you do. So a clip come out from Killer Mike, a rapper.
Yep.
He has come out and he said that Steph should be quite careful and doesn't deserve the embarrassment. Steph has then called out Killer Mike to stay in his lane. Killer Mike has deleted his post. Okay. So more people do some more digging. And there's a clip from The Real Show. Now, I don't know what The Real Show is, where Ayesha has jokingly pretended to remove her wedding ring when a shirtless waiter walked onto set. Okay. She did this in jest, but many people online interpreted it to be a sign of disrespect and loyalty.
I wouldn't even bother with that one.
Yep. No. And again, fans have dug in.
Yeah.
Steff's reaction was a little bit. Yep. No one knew how to take his reaction.
Yeah.
Now, should be noted, throughout this whole phase, Steph has defended. So obviously he sees nothing wrong with it. But her rap sheet goes on and on and on, and people have dug back as far as her teenage years, where she has said that she has a no athletes dating rule. She will not date any athletes.
So she was a teenager. Who cares?
Yeah, people grow. People
exactly.
But it's led to some memes, and there's one that I almost thought was real about Scottie Pippen coming out and said, "We need a word, bro." But yeah, this is gathering momentum, and there's all sorts of pressure going on there, and it's going to create something.
Look, I would cautionary table is, I think, Will Smith. We saw what that can do to your career.
Yep.
When you, how do I put this? Stand by your woman when maybe, I don't want to say you shouldn't, but maybe there is some, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And perhaps he should have. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a very visible athlete. Yeah. He would be looking at everything that's being said. He's quite aware of it, because if he's calling out Killer Mike, eventually this plays in his head.
That's right. So,
and he might start looking at her a little bit differently.
And I'd also say to you, he's probably got some good people around him, because he's not someone who's out there.
Seems level.
That's it. He's very level-headed. His father played he's grown up around the game because his father played in the NBA. He's got his brother who also plays in the NBA, and he's on the same team. So look, I would say he's got some pretty good counsel. His mother would probably be also someone he would be turning to. Look, I think Steph, it's his life, mate. You decide what you want to do in this situation. Everybody stay out of it. I don't know why we have to have these things thrown up publicly because someone says that she's putting her husband before her kids.
It's off season,
so
they're looking for something to talk about.
Maybe.
Let's face it. There's a whole gossip world around the NBA, and it's quite ugly, Yeah. Anthony Edwards and
that's right.
How many kids he's got? You've got Durant trash talking him about.
It was just you see the meme where what's his name? The coach, I can't think of his name, for the Warriors.
Steve Kerr.
Yep. Said to one of the players, inbound the ball to Steph and let him take the three. And of course, Steph was sitting on the bench. And so he gave it to Steph. And the coach said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, Steph's sitting on the bench." I thought you meant Seth.
Yeah.
Seth missed the 3-pointer.
That's how
That's funny,
man. And there's going to be so many mistakes. People loading up their multis. We'll have to be careful.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Did you see? I have to touch on this. This is basketball world. LeBron James has a second announcement coming. I just Googled it then.
Yeah.
He's done another one of those ridiculous video cryptic posts saying, "Stay tuned."
Yeah, well, this is, like you said, it's the off season. He wants all these people jumping online going, "Oh, please don't retire. Please don't stay around for another."
Well, that's what people are thinking. Is it a retirement post?
It's a crap post.
But it'll probably be some sort of new fragrance line, or does he even share? It doesn't look like he does.
No, it's just that me. The intention's not on me. I want the attention back on me post. That's what that is.
Well, apparently he wanted
an
extra year out of the Lakers or something, and this is the first time in his career he actually had to pick up the player part of his contract. So I thought that was very interesting. The shine's starting to wear off.
It's definitely starting.
He's overstayed his well.
Well, the minute you bring in, I think, he could see the right. Yeah, they've moved past him now. They've got their new stuff.
Is he going to want to play that sort of role playing?
No, and he won't have to. If he's got one more year, and the Lakers know he's got one more year, they will probably put up with him being the main man for one more year.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, it's the first time he's actually had to go begging for a contract. So
does he have lady issues?
Does he have lady issues?
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think he does. I think his wife's a pretty good woman.
Well, I'll tell you someone who doesn't have lady issues. Travis Kelce.
Kelce. Taylor Swift. Have you seen the new album, mate?
Yeah. What about that song? Do you want to list the title?
There's a new song called Wood. Apparently, it's about Travis' his manhood and how much she likes his manhood.
Oh God.
So
I'll tell you what,
Trav.
He's got to be happy about that because the Chiefs aren't going so well.
He's hung like our man, Massive Richard, eh?
Yeah. Look, maybe next week we'll dig up, because we didn't have a lot of time tonight, but some of the lyrics about Mr. Kelce. Oh, goodness.
Figure out what exactly wood means.
Yeah. It'll make you blush.
They had a good win. Actually, they lost today.
They lost
today. I was going to say they had a good win, but then I remember they lost. I watched the game. Yeah. To Mr. Lawrence.
It looks over, doesn't it?
Well, they look good, actually. I thought they looked
good. But they've looked good in most of their games, but they've kept falling short.
It's that defensive. That's just nothing. Yeah. But, So
what do you think of his game?
Who's?
Kelce's.
Yeah. He looks slow, man.
Yeah, the game's gone past him.
He looked really, really slow. But he can build. Look, it's a long season. It's 18 games.
Look, it is.
3 or 4 in, aren't we?
But he went out and he had the greatest preseason ever.
Yeah,
and 4 or 5. It doesn't look like it has improved him in anything. So, Father Time gets all of us eventually. And as far as his career goes, certainly doesn't look. I think he did.
We all expected him to pull the pin last year.
Yeah,
to retire. I think he should. I'm with you. I think he should.
But he was chasing that fairy tale finish. I have no doubt. If they won last year, he was probably
definitely
going to make.
I think we all know. Yeah, I think we all thought he would say.
And given the way the season started this year, he's probably pulled that proposal thinking, this ain't
the way it should be. Yeah. But then every single team that was 4-0 lost. So
that's true.
Yeah. That's true. I would have said the Eagles were so far ahead of everybody else, and then the Broncos come out and kick their butts. So, which was a shock in itself. So, you have to be on your day. You have to be, and the Bills were the same.
Yeah, any given Sunday.
That's it. Any given
Sunday. With a long drive off with the Kanye.
That's it. Right?
Shout out to Kanye.
Yeah. So, I guess it's time for me to get us out of here.
Yeah.
What is a poorly dressed dinosaur called?
I don't know.
An Isosaurus.
Oh, that's terrible.
Thanks, Finn Unlucky.